Thank you for tuning in to the latest edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. Whether you're listening during your commute, while working out, or just relaxing at home, we appreciate you. Every download, every listen, and every subscription means a lot. Thank you for being part of the 12 Kyle podcast community. Stay tuned for another episode. This is the 12 Kyle podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. Thank you for downloading. And thank you for subscribing to the latest edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. I am your boy, 12 Kyle. Man, check this out. I have a question. Have you ever been listening to a song and then all of a sudden the light bulb above your head comes on and you realize that you probably heard this song for years in your lifetime, and at this particular moment they are saying something to a lyric that you had no idea was there? Like you've been singing it wrong your entire life. That, I would venture to say, happens to a lot of us, probably more than we're willing to admit. I came to this idea about this particular episode after listening to my homegirl, good friend of the show, Britt. Shout out to Britt. Her podcast is called I Can Talk About This All Day. It drops every Friday on all platforms where you hear podcasts. And Britt had an episode where she was talking about how she cleans up her house to 80s music. And in the episode, she mentioned a song by I want to say it's the Timex Social Club. The song was called Rumors. And she said she'd been singing it her whole life, and then she realized that she was not singing it correctly. There was a part that she did not know exist. And I think she said, like, the song goes, "Look at all these rumors surrounding me every day. I just need some time to get away from all these rumors. I can't take no more." I think she thought that the chorus said, "F all these rumors. I can't take it no more." And so as a child, if you're hearing that, you're saying, okay, well, why did they say fuck all these rumors? I can't take it anymore. And they allowed that cuss word to be heard on radio and TV. And of course, she said she realized, that they weren't saying that. They were saying, "Look at all these rumors surrounding me every day. I need some time to get away from all these rumors, not fuck all these rumors." So shout out to Britt. She actually inspired this episode. So it got me to thinking about some songs that I did not know or I grew up listening to that I just totally got wrong. And if you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching. You can see my shirt. It says 1, 2, 3, and 2 the foe. Now, what's interesting is when I wear this shirt out, and you can see people, I've only worn this shirt once out. We went to brunch one day, and you can see people read the shirt and they're like, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it's 1, 2, 3 into the foe. That's the lyric from Ain't Nothing But a G Thing, spat by Snoop Doggy Dogg at the time, from the Chronic album, Dr. Dre. So it's not 1, 2, 3 into the, it's 1, 2, it's 1, 2, 3 into the foe. That's how you have to pronounce it. But of course you don't read it like that. But it's interesting because I saw a couple of people looking at my shirt and they're like trying to figure out what the shirt meant. It ain't that deep, y'all. So that leads me to, this episode. Uh, One of the songs that I grew up singing was from a guy who was one of my favorite musical artists of all time, and that is the King of Pop, Michael Jackson. Now, if you go back in time, before Thriller, he had this album that's phenomenal called Off the Wall. On that album, there's a song called Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. And I think this was like 78, 79. I want to say 79. So I was young. I was, 7? This came out. And I don't know how, but it never made sense to me. The chorus says, keep on with the force, don't stop. Don't stop till you get enough. Keep on with the force, don't stop. Don't stop till you get enough. And it goes on and on and on. I, young 12 Kyle at 7 years of age, thought he said, keep on with the Flintstones. Don't stop till you get enough. I literally thought that Michael Jackson was shouting out the cartoon The Flintstones, because who wouldn't want to shout out the Flintstones? To me, at 7, the Flintstones one of the dopest cartoons ever, and I'm still a fan of the Flintstones. I will still sit and watch an episode of the Flintstones minus a bowl of cereal because I can't take the milk. But yeah, in my mind, keep on with the Flintstones. It don't stop till you get enough, because the Flintstones didn't stop until they got enough. I don't know where that came from. I don't know how I came up with that concept, but in my mind, again, 7 years old. And again, folks, before you laugh, because I know you're laughing, I'm listening to you right now laugh. There was no internet in 1979. So I had no way of Googling the lyrics or anything like that. But in my mind, Michael Jackson said, keep on with the Flintstones. Don't stop till you get enough. So yeah, I guess you could say I got that one wrong. But there were other songs. This next song, I didn't get it wrong. The lyric just didn't make any sense. 1989's Funky for You by the group Nice and Smooth. They're a rap group. I think they're out of New York City. The first lyric, and I'm going to read it to you, says, hey, yo, Dizzy Gillespie plays a sax. Me, myself, I like to max. Redbone booties, I'm out to wax. Stick up kids is out to tax. Okay. So let's go back. I'm going to read it again. Hey, yo, Dizzy Gillespie plays a sax. Me, myself, I like to max. Redbone booties, I'm out to wax. Stick up kids is out to tax. Fair, right? One problem. And this is being rapped by Greg Nice, one half of Nice and Smooth. He said Dizzy Gillespie plays the sax. Dizzy Gillespie played the trumpet. I don't know how we let Greg Nice get that off. Again, it's 89. There's no Twitter. There's no Facebook. There's no Instagram. So we can't just tweet him and tell him he was wrong. But no, Dizzy Gillespie is a famous musician. He did not play the sax. He played the trumpet. Now, I know what you're thinking. He used sax because he followed it with followed it with max, then wax, then tax. However, Greg Nice, you're wrong. And we know that you're wrong. And you've been wrong for years about this. It's Dizzy Gillespie plays the trumpet. But I know you can't say Dizzy Gillespie plays the trumpet. Me, myself, I like to max. Redbone booties, I'm out to wax. Stick up kids is out to tax. It doesn't rhyme. And I don't really know too many fly words you can rhyme with trumpet. But we let him get that off. And Greg Nice, you're wrong for that. What else? Oh, one of my favorite rap groups of all time. Arguably, in my opinion, the greatest hip hop rap group of all time, Run DMC. In fact, I don't even think that's an argument, at least not for me. Run DMC is the greatest hip hop group of all time. They had a song that was very, very popular called Peter Piper. Until probably about, 2 years ago, didn't know the correct lyrics on this song. And I'll read it to you. Now, Peter Piper picked peppers, but Run Rock rhymes. Humpty Dumpty fell down. That's his hard times. Jack be nimble, and he was quick, but Jam Master cut faster Jacks on Jay's dick. Let's stop right there. Where it comes in and where it's interesting is that if you listen to the song on the radio, the word dick gets played. They don't bleep it out. They don't scratch it out. It's nothing. And for the life of me, I just assumed that I was like, did he say dick? But I'm like, yeah, he said dick. And they let it play. Like nobody in radio stopped it. And then further down, same verse, he said, now little Bo Peep Cole lost her sheep and Rip Van Winkle fell the hell asleep. Alice chilling somewhere in Wonderland. Jack serving Jill a bucket in his hand. Now, this is my fault. For all of these years, up until like 2 years ago, I thought he was saying Alice chilling somewhere in Wonderland. Jack's serving Jill fucking in his hand. How he could be fucking his hand, I don't know. But that's what I thought. And that's my bad. I mean, like, I apologize. I didn't know. I did not know. Peter Piper, all of these years. I mean, again, it's one of my favorite rap groups of all time. It's the greatest rap group of all time. And I clearly got this one wrong. So I got it wrong and the radio got it wrong. Because if you hear this song on the radio, for those of you who are ancient enough to still listen to the radio, they let the word dick play. I don't know why. Pause. But I don't know how Jack serving Jill a bucket in his hand makes sense. But to me, and I was in high school when this came out, Jack serving Jill fucking in his hand. That's what it sounded like. There was no internet to correct me or Rev Run. Shout out to Rev Run and DMC. So that's Peter Piper. Speaking of radio getting it wrong, radio definitely got this one wrong. There was a song, rap song by the late rapper Black Rob. You may know Black Rob because he was on Bad Boy. I ran with Puff a lot. He had a hit song called Whoa. And what was interesting was there's a verse where he literally spells out a word and they let it go on the radio. I'll read it to you. He said, now every line is ending with the word whoa. I don't think I need to tell y'all that, but there may be one or two people who've never heard the song before. He says, COs ain't whoa, POs ain't whoa. Play yourself, get the G.I. Joe. DICK writers ain't whoa. He literally spells the word dick out. DICK writers ain't whoa. And it's never been beeped out on the radio. Never. I was outside. I was listening to the radio when this song was out. It's never been beeped on the radio. Again, if you ever hear it live on the radio, think about me, think about this episode, and ask yourself, are they going to beep it out? Now, again, I don't know how many radio stations are playing whoa at this point, but you won't hear it get beeped out. In fact, you may be able to go to YouTube, and I probably should have done this before I came on here. You probably could go to YouTube and watch the video, but I think they let it fly in the video too. DICK writers ain't whoa. Now he does separate the D and the I and the C from the letter K. So it's DICK K Riders Ain't Whoa, which you still spell dick. You just you just held the K, I guess. But interesting nonetheless. Now we've been talking rap, but let's go to R&B. One song that stands out to me is the song by the R&B group Cameo. The song is called Candy, and it is a jam. It is still a jam. It came out in 1986. It was on their album Word Up, album which my parents bought, and so I enjoyed listening to it. And I think Cameo is a great group. But this song Candy, that I didn't find out until maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, is about cocaine. Nobody told us this. The song is about cocaine. If you don't believe me, I'll read you the lyrics. It's like candy. I can feel it when you walk, even when you talk. It takes over me. You're so dandy. I want to know, can you feel it too? Just like I do. This stuff is starting now. It's the same feeling I always seem to get around you. There's no mistaking. I'm clearly taken by the simple mere thought of you. This stuff is starting now. This stuff is starting now. This stuff is starting now. My eyes roll in my head. I toss and turn in my bed in the morning when I think about you. Come on, man. That's cocaine. Yes, I do. Simply put, you're the reason why, even though I'm real shy, I attempt to look my best for you. Indeed, I do. Because you affect me, fascinate me. I thank heaven for the things that you do. It's like candy. You're so sweet. You're so dandy. You're taking my appetite, but it's all right. Now, you could make a case that he could be talking about a woman, but that last line, you're taking my appetite, we know when you're on cocaine, you ain't eating no more. That's why people get shriveled up. Are people still doing coke? People, I don't know. I'm asking. What about crack? I don't know. We're waiting on an answer on cocaine and crack. There may be people out here, and there may be a few of you who are listening to this podcast that do cocaine. I cannot even say that I've ever seen cocaine before, but this song is clearly about cocaine. Shout out to Cameo, Larry Blackman and the crew. Great song. But yeah, this song gets major airplay. It gets major radio play. The video got played a lot on BET. But yeah, the song is about cocaine. It's not about a girl. It's not about a woman. It's not about his girlfriend. It's not about his wife. It's about candy. And which is, cocaine was used to be known as nose candy. Or is it still nose candy? I think it's still nose candy. So yeah, candy. You didn't know that, did you? Yeah, but it's about cocaine. All right. Speaking of drugs, I think this next one's pretty obvious, but a lot of people didn't know it. Funk pioneer, my man Rick James, rest in peace. He did a song back in 1978 called Mary Jane. I'll read you the lyrics. I'm in love with Mary Jane. She's my main thing. She makes me feel all right. She makes my heart sing. And when I'm feeling low, she comes to no surprise. Turns me on with her love, takes me to paradise. Do you love me, Mary Jane? This song is clearly about marijuana, left-handed cigarettes, reefers, smoke, Buddha, cess, whatever you want to call it. It's about weed. And it's cool. And I'm someone who's never smoked weed, but this is definitely a weed anthem. And I don't think you have to have smoked weed, smoke the stickiest of the icky to have appreciated the fact that this song is about weed. But I mean, and everybody knows that Rick James smoked mad weed back in the day. So rest in peace to the funk legend, Rick James. But yeah, this song is clearly clearly about weed. Another song about weed that I actually had to school some people on. I did a podcast a couple of years ago. I was talking about one of my favorite artists, D'Angelo. We were talking about the album Brown Sugar, and the title track, Brown Sugar, is about weed. Now, I got some pushback because there were some people that heard that episode that were like, 12 Kyle, are you serious? This can't be about weed. And I was like, yeah, listen to the lyrics. Let me tell you about this girl. Maybe I shouldn't. I met her in Philly, and her name was Brown Sugar. See, we be making love constantly. That's why my eyes are a shade blood burgundy. The way that we kiss is unlike any other way that I be kissing. What I'm missing, won't you listen? Brown Sugar, babe, I gets high off your love. I don't know how to behave. Let me stop right there. Met her in Philly. What is a Philly blunt? It's weed. We be making love constantly. That's why my eyes are a shade blood burgundy. Smoking weed will make your eyes red. I mean, it's a fact. I grew up around and played with some weed heads. Ooh, sugar, when you're close to me, you love me right down to my knees. And whenever you let me hit it, sweet like honey when it comes to me. Skin is caramel with the cocoa eyes. Even got a big sister by the name of Chocolate Tie. Stop right there. Skin is caramel, meaning it's brown, with cocoa eyes. Even got a big sister by the name of Chocolate Tie. Chocolate Tie is a form of weed. This song is not about a woman. It's not about D'Angelo's girl. It's not about his home girl. It's about marijuana, weed, whatever you want to call it, reefer. That's my favorite. And you guys know I did an episode with King Germ. Shout out to King Germ from Pod and Saved Our Marriage. That episode was funny as hell because King Germ is an expertise, if you will, on left-handed cigarettes. I think that was the name of the episode, Left-Handed Cigarettes or something like that. But yeah, check that out. Me and King Germ. That was from a couple of years ago. But yeah, this song is about weed, and it's a very dope way to have an ode or a loving toward, the ganja leaf. But yes, this song is about marijuana. And last but not least, this song doesn't have anything to do with drugs. At least I don't think. But I will be honest with y'all. This song came out. When did this song come out? Like 90, I want to say like 97. This song came in the late 90s. And I'll be honest. At the time of this recording is 2024. I, 12 Kyle, have no clue as to what they're saying. This is a dope song, but I don't know what the hell they're saying. The song is called Lucini, aka This Is It. Now, maybe some of you listening, maybe some of you watching know what they're talking about. I have no idea. And what I did was I pulled up the lyrics on Genius. Shout out to the good friends of us at Genius over there. This is it. What? Lucini pouring from the sky. Let's get rich. What? The Jiggy Vines, the Sugar Dimes. Can't quit. What? Now pop the cork and the Vega and get lit. What? Okay. Verse 1. Introducing. Phantom of the Dark walk through the heaven. And it's crazy because I actually want to kind of rhyme it, but let me start over. Introducing. Phantom of the Dark walk through the heaven, my heaven, with levitation from reefers drenching in Diva 7s, E7 showboating with Rugers, Flash Vines, Belafonte Vigor. Let's skate for what it's worth as we confiscate your figures. What does that mean? That was from Geechee Suede. Now, Sonny Chiba, his rhyme mate, says, Casanova Brown, levitating jiggies and dashikis, a holla hotta 54, chasing diamond runners, headed icebound, big chiller, diamond convention, Harlem Buck strut, freezing world, Heist Hollywood, Madam Butterfly, let me in your house of pleasure. From the knuckle swatch, shadow boxes, catching black eye blues. It's a struggle just to read that, let alone to try to figure out what the hell they're saying. And again, it's no diss on the group Camp Low. That's the name of the group. It's Gucci Suede and Sonny Chiba. I'm not sure if I mentioned that. But again, I would encourage each of you to go to genius.com and go to the search bar, type in "This Is It." No, excuse me, type in Lucchini, and this will come up. And when you go on Genius, it gives you, if there's a highlighted section of the verse, it'll tell you why, or excuse me, what that is or what the reference is. I'm on this, and their explanations still don't mean anything to me because I don't know what the hell it is they're saying. I play the deef, what? Sensations at Mardi Gras be screaming Chiba, fulfilling pleasures in my castle, blow the smoke out. The Garsha Vega substitutes when the Dutch is gone. I know he's talking about a cigar, but still, like he's talking about weed, but oh man, I just and again, when the song comes on, I listen, I jam, I bop to it. It's a vibe, but let's just be real. Like, maybe somebody can tell me otherwise, but this makes no sense to me. And again, this song is not far from being 30 years old, and I still have no clue as to what the hell they're saying. In conclusion, man, I think it's interesting when you think about it, because particularly if you grew up in an era like me, in the 80s and 90s, we didn't have access to these type of things where you could actually look up the lyrics. You literally had to roll with whatever you had, and if you recorded it off the radio, you could put it on a tape and replay the tape and play it until you figured out the lyrics. That's how we figured out lyrics. I mean, you just hear a song over and over again, and then you'd want to listen to the song and learn the lyrics. But no, there was no Genius, there was no Google. You couldn't find lyrics anywhere, back in my day. So, we had to figure it out, and that's kind of how you. I guess that's how that explains how you can grow up thinking the Flintstones don't stop till you get enough. I mean, that makes no sense whatsoever. But again, up until a few years ago, that's what I thought he said. I didn't know. I mean, and who knows, if we didn't ever have a website to go to, I might still think that he's talking about the Flintstones. I don't know. Now, I know you're going to say to yourself, but he's not talking about the Flintstones. But again, I don't know. I went through a couple of songs that we just don't know. And it's okay. At least we now have technology to help us. But honestly, back then, we had no clue. And I had no clue. And I'm perfectly fine admitting that today. Again, thanks for checking out this edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast. The podcast drops every Thursday, every Sunday at midnight. Again, shout out to the homegirl Britt for giving me this idea. I always come up with different ideas, sometimes just by listening to my colleagues in their podcast. So thank you, Britt, for that. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast. The podcast drops every Thursday and Sunday, as I said. Follow us on social media at 12 Kyle, at 12 Kyle Podcast, on all the platforms: Twitter, X, Facebook, Instagram, Threads. I think Facebook, I think I'm forgetting one, but anyway, be sure to subscribe. We're on YouTube as well. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like button so that you can get notifications when an episode drops. Great thing about the YouTube channel is that we have both audio and video, so you can get it either way on that channel. If you feel so inclined, hit us up. Throw us a couple of dollars. We'll take it. $, Cash App, $TWELVEKYLE. And there's also a link in our description box, wherever you're listening. Description box, there's a line that says merch. Click that link. You can get 12 Kyle Podcast t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, you name it, we got it. Again, that's going to do it for me. Thanks again for checking out this edition of the 12 Kyle Podcast. I am your boy, 12 Kyle. I'll catch you guys next time. 5,000.
Thank you for tuning in to the latest edition of the 12 Kyle Podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Share the podcast with a friend who needs the 12 Kyle Podcast in their life. Every listen, every share, and every subscription helps us grow. So, go ahead, subscribe now and share it with a friend. Thanks for being a part of the 12 Kyle Podcast community. We appreciate your support. 5,000.